gave us to make us feel better and encourage us. It is a fact. But then we must understand, what does it mean to chant 16 rounds? To that degree that it will take us back home right to back. Not just some spaced out thing while watching the birds or cooking or driving. These rounds will not bring us back home. It may be necessary at some point in time that we chant because we're very busy or whatever, but we should try to chant very nicely. And that means, chanting very nicely means I sacrifice my sense gratification, because everybody engages in some sense gratification, wasting some time, talking to someone about something that's not necessary, watching television, watching the news, watching the stock market, whatever you're watching, reading the newspaper, reading some mundane literature. Everybody wastes some time. We all, unless we're pure devotees, we will waste some time in the day. Or we waste time working too hard. That's also wasting time. If you try to acquire more than necessary, working too hard, and you neglect your rounds, that's also wasting time. Not that we think, oh, because I'm working, I cannot chant my rounds because work is duty. My duty is not to neglect the holy name. This is the priority. That's what it means. My chanting is the priority. Following these principles is the priority. Spiritual life is my priority. What it said. So, the question is, does everybody have to rise and pour in? But then Srila Prabhupada said many other times. Because when Srila Prabhupada said that, he was specifically speaking to temple devotees. He was really referring more than anything to temple devotees. So if someone has such a schedule that's so demanding that they have to rise at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, it may still be acceptable. But one should definitely rise before the sun comes and start chanting the holy name. Srila Prabhupada said many times, and also Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his song, he says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rises before the sun comes up and begins his sanctity. So, definitely you should rise before the sun comes up. So that should be like, if you're rising after the sun comes up, then you're not following the instructions. Unless, someone may have to work. So many, unfortunately, because we have chosen, because of our own weakness, we've chosen to integrate into the external society. Almost every devotee is working in the external society. Because we have figured out how to follow Srila Prabhupada's instruction and create communities and be self-sufficient and live off the grid. Now that's a very, very popular thing nowadays. People say, we want to live off the grid. Produce my own energy, solar power. To get off the grid. So Srila Prabhupada wanted us to get off the grid by not associating with materialistic persons and by having self-sufficiency. Prabhupada had this idea of self-sufficiency before anybody could even conceive of it. He was telling us to do this. And now even the karmis are saying, better you get off the grid to make people work hard. It may be conscious, it may be unconscious. It may be done by Maya, or it may be done by some big controllers of the material atmosphere. But the purpose is to make you work harder in this material world and distract you from the emotional state. Materialistic society is like one Maharaj that I know very well. He knew very intimately the Prime Minister of a certain country. I guess I can mention now, Prime Minister of New Zealand. They make everybody work very hard. They deprive them of everything except the absolute basic necessities of life. And if you do anything against the system, they punish you. Yeah, this is like everybody's model. This is what we want to achieve. This is what he said. This is what they would actually talk about. Not that they all get together and think about everyone's welfare. No, that's what you hear on the news. Construction or whatever. We're working for you. You're working for us. That's what they should put. you're working for us. So Srila Prabhupada wanted us to get off the grid, but because we're on the grid at this point in time, almost everybody's working, so we have to sometimes sacrifice, some devotees have to sacrifice the idea of getting up at 4 in the morning or even earlier, and because of their work or because of school. You know, everybody has the idea that we all have to go to the university, and everybody has to get a degree because you have to plug into the system and work more and more for a materialistic person. So until we become strong enough to where we have our own communities and a devotee joins the Krishna conscious movement, they do Sankirtan service or some type of service intensely for some years, then they get married and they go to live on the community where they never have to be part of this external society. That was Srila Prabhupada do. The only devotees that would be part of the external society were those who were already plugged into it very strongly. They already had their children and their house and everything, and then they would continue to work and contribute until they became purified enough to actually leave and go on to the... So Prabhupada had this vision that we would have farms everywhere and big communities where devotees would not have to do anything with the external society. And even the Catholics, like there are many Catholic orders like the Trappists, and there's other groups like the Amish. They have nothing. They don't deal with it. You know, these monks, they actually have been doing what Prabhupada wanted for hundreds of years. They live in a community. The Trappists are not only monks; they're Trappist monks, and then they have a community around them, and they produce things and they sell it to the people. They produce like cheese and they make little religious sayings and they embroider it on the cloth and they put it in a nice frame and they sell that in a store. Have a store, people come to see their community. That's what, you know, if we have to make money, that's how we can make money. If you have some village cottage industries, this is what Prabhupada wants. So until we do that, I think that it will be very difficult for everyone to get up at 4 in the morning. As long as we're plugged into the grid. But still, one should try to do it because that is the best. That's definitely the best standard. Because if you get up at 4, why did Prabhupada say 4? Because you can go to work and you've already done your basic spiritual work. That was the idea. If we can do that, we would definitely will be spiritually strong. But why can't most people get up at 4 in the morning? Because they watch television, they read a book, or they do this, or they talk, or they go visit someone and they have some, you know, useless external ceremony that's very important. You know, like somebody's so many years old by over in Londonville, and he saw these antennas on the top of the building. He said, "What are those?" And the devotee said, "Oh, they're TV antennas." He said, "Oh, those are top." So, you know, at least they can be cable so you can't see it. But, so it was very surprised. So this is what Prabhupada didn't want this. Now I know that sometimes people feel they have to do that, working very hard. I have to come home, kick off my shoes, put up my feet on the table, and relax. And watch some nice program. So one point in time he said, just chant 16 rounds, then you can do any damn thing. That's like the minimum possible standard. But sometimes we get so engrossed in our activities, working and trying to prosper materially, that we don't even chant our 16 rounds. Then you're really in trouble, spiritually. You're really in trouble. If we become so engrossed in, it's just a family poem. I can't remember it now. He says all these things, being absorbed in friendship, family, society, and love, is otherwise that means that if we think that these things are producing happiness, we simply have not understood what is happiness. Because the only thing we're getting is a drop of water in the desert. And we can see that. People are struggling. Anyone who is absorbed in friendship, family, love, society, etc., they are struggling. You have to struggle. When your happiness is coming from these things, you will struggle very hard to make these things produce